The Election Commission has banned Mamata Banerjee from her campaign for 24 hours. Mamata has been banned from her recent public remarks wherein she had asked minorities to not let their votes split in the ongoing polls in the state. The poll panel has described Mamata's statement as a threat to the law and order. The Bengal Chief Minister and the TMC has reacted sharply to the ban. Mamata has announced that she's going to be sitting on a dharna today at Gandhi Murti in Kolkata to protest the ban. Late night at 8 p.m. when the ban is over, Mamata is going to campaign at Salt Lake for her Bidanagar candidate Sujit Bose. She's also going to be addressing 2 poll rallies once the ban is over. Also, let's listen in to what Mamata Banerjee said, because of which EC banned her.
ভাই সংখ্যালঘু ভাই বোন আপনাদের কাছে হাত জোড় করে একটা কথা বলবো, ওই শয়তান ছেলেটা যেটা বেরিয়েছে বিজেপির টাকা নিয়ে, ওইটার কথা শুনে সংখ্যালঘু ভোট ভাগ করেন না। ও অনেক সাম্প্রদায়িক কথা বলে, ও হিন্দু মুসলমানের মধ্যে লাগায়, ও বিজেপির আরেকটা সাকরেদ, একেবারে বিজেপির কমরেড। বিজেপি কমরেড সিপিএম আর বিজেপিকে মিলে বিজেপির টাকা নিয়ে বেরিয়েছে যাতে সংখ্যালঘু ভোটটা ভাগ হয়ে যায়। প্লিজ দয়া করে করতে দেবেন না। 72 ঘন্টা আটকে দেওয়া হলো, আমি 14 তারিখ তাদের সাথে দেখা করবো। 72 ঘন্টা আটকে দিয়েছে, ওকে আই উইল বি ওয়েটিং ফর 72 hours only because of the MCC. Though I think that MCC টা এখন হয়ে গেছে বিজেপি কোড অফ কন্ডাক্ট, BCC। এটা এখন বিজেপি কোড অফ কন্ডাক্ট হয়ে গেছে, তারা যা বলছে তাই করছে।
अभी हाल ही में आपने कहा कि सभी मुसलमान एक हो जाओ, वोट बंटने मत दो। अगर हमने कहा होता सारे हिंदू एकजुट हो जाओ, बीजेपी को वोट दो, तो दीदी ये इलेक्शन कमीशन हमें 8-10 नोटिस भेज देता।
Days after the battle royale, Nandigram BJP leader Shivendu Adhikari has launched an all-out attack on Mamata Banerjee, comparing her with former Bangladeshi Prime Minister Khalida Zia, predicting a rout for the Trinamool Congress chief from Nandigram. Shivendu alleged that she is now asking votes on false promises. It's not the first instance when Shivendu has attacked Mamata. Earlier, he claimed that Bengal is going to turn into mini Pakistan if Mamata wins a third term. In fact, the former Didi confidant even called the Chief Minister Begum, accusing her of appeasement politics. As the campaigning for Phase 5 of polls in Bengal picks up pace, India Today's Maushami Singh boards the Election Express from Sialdah to Siliguri to get you the mood of people in Bengal. Take a look at the special report.
Hello and welcome everybody. I am Maushami Singh and today we are taking a very special train journey. Rail Banglar Jeevan Rekha. Railways is the lifeline of Bengal, and so we take a journey from Sialdah to Siliguri to get a glimpse of West Bengal. So it's time, let's hop on and take this train ride. Follow me. Kanchenjunga Special is a train that connects South Bengal to North Bengal, and we've reached our first station, Bardhaman railway station. Remember that on 17th Bardhaman is going to the polls, and you can see that at the station you won't see that much crowd because remember these are pandemic times. Even as election grounds are flooded, the railways has adopted stringent measures to ensure that people are in lesser numbers at the stations. Even these stalls like these won't be having too much of variety. क्या सोच रहा है, क्या सोच कर डालेगा वोट?
वो तो हमारा
चल रहा है आपके बर्तन?
हाँ ठीक चल रहा है, और उसके बाद तो वो तो मत तो अपना अधिकार होता है, किसमें डालेंगे सो तो आप
तो यात्री लोग आपका ले रहा है सामान?
हाँ ले रहा है। हाँ तो खाने का चीज है ना, भूख लगे इंसान तो लेगा ही।
So let's catch our train, and you know a very different mood that's prevailing. Even as people, they are struggling with their livelihood. They know that on the day of the polling, they will take a break from their work to ensure they exercise their franchise. As we travel through, the only thing constant is what we see is the mood of the voter. The voter in West Bengal is really upbeat, and we've seen a very enthusiastic team of people who travel daily from Bardhaman to Bolpur and elsewhere through this train, and that's why I say that the train is so very important in every Bengali's life for his daily routines, for his daily activities. They say that during the lockdown, when the trains really stopped, it was tough time for you all because life had come to a standstill.
Yes, the time was really tough, but the situation was that we are also in lockdown, and most of this time we stayed at home. But when there was needs to go to office, we felt very sad for this train because we have to cover this long distance through any private vehicle or through motorbikes.
में चुनाव का टाइम है, आप लोग बैठते होंगे तो चर्चा भी करते होंगे. क्या मूड आपको लग रहा है? लगातार जो वायलेंस हो रहा है, जिस तरह से बंगाल हमेशा हेडलाइन में है, तो बंगाल का वोटर आप लोग क्या सोच रहे हैं?
अभी तो सब लोग साइलेंट है. 2 तारीख के बाद पता चलेगा वायलेंट किस में आया है.
बड़ा दिलचस्प ये भी है कि आरोप दोनों तरफ से लग रहे हैं. वो कह रहे हैं कि ये वायलेंस कर रहे हैं, ये कह रहे हैं कि वो वायलेंस कर रहे हैं. माजरा क्या है?
We are not interested to violence anyone. No, not interested. We are all willing to live very comfortably and all togetherness. We have no interest to hurt anyone.
So there is a fear factor, element of fear in the voters. थोड़ा सा फियर है क्या मन में कि कुछ बोलेगा तो अटैक हो सकता है, ऐसे टारगेट बनाए जा सकते हैं?
Yes.
ऐसा मन में आता है?
Yes, this occurs in mind every voter because there be a fear factor in ruling party or any party which is strong in his area.
That's why I said that a glimpse of West Bengal in this train journey, you will see cosmoses of a different kind, where the mind is without fear, the head is held high, where knowledge is free, and where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Into that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. And we are quite awake. We'll move ahead. The journey goes on. I will be capturing you and getting you the best of this train journey.
Maharashtra coronavirus woes continue to worsen. The state reported over 50,000 new coronavirus cases in just one day for the 7th time straight. With this surge, the active cases in the state has now breached the 5,60,000 mark. 258 deaths were also reported in the state in the last 24 hours. Mumbai reported 6,905 new cases and 43 new deaths in the last 24 hours, with no let-up in the surge. Fear of complete lockdown looms large on Maharashtra. Uddhav Thackeray met Deputy CM yesterday and will be chairing a cabinet meeting tomorrow, following which it is expected that there will be an announcement of a lockdown. As of now, sources are telling India Today that the government has been working on the modalities of the lockdown. Maharashtra Health Minister Rajesh Tope has made it clear a lockdown seems imminent. Government wants to ensure that the poor does not get impacted by it. And there is a COVID explosion in the national capital. Delhi has reported 11,491 cases in the past 24 hours, the highest single-day spike since beginning of the pandemic. The national capital has also recorded 72 fatalities in 24 hours itself, the highest since 5th of December. Delhi has over 6,000 containment zones and 6,175 hotspots. Chief Minister Kejriwal made it clear government does not want to impose lockdown as of right now, but 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. night curfew is in place till 30th of April. Only essential services are exempt from the night curfew. Now to our special segment, Good, Bad, Ugly. It's a special COVID segment. Here's a look.
Here is the good news of the day when it comes to the vaccination drive in the country. Sputnik V is the third vaccine to be rolled out in the country. The vaccine has got emergency use authorization in India. The vaccine is also going to be produced in large doses in the country, given the fact that the RDIF has had a tie-up with several Indian companies to manufacture the doses of the vaccine for India and for countries outside of India. In totality, 3 vaccines will now be used in the country against COVID-19. This is going to give a boost as far as the problem of the limited supply of doses of the existing vaccines is concerned. Here is the bad news of the day when it comes to the pandemic. The recovery rate in the country has fallen below the 90% mark. Cases are going through the roof. India has surpassed Brazil in the total number of cases and is now only second to America in terms of the total number of cases. The daily cases that are being reported in India are breaking all records. Here is the ugly news of the day when it comes to the pandemic. Pictures of blatant violation of COVID protocol. If you look at what's happening in Kumbh in Haridwar, the Kumbh Mela is ongoing and all COVID protocol is being ignored by the devotees who are taking part in the festivities there. In fact, the government of India has raised concerns several times, saying that the Uttarakhand government has to do much more in terms of ensuring that the devotees adhere to the COVID protocol. But that presently is not being done, and there is a fear that this could turn out to be a super spreader event.
Sanju Samson played one of the most incredible knocks in the history of IPL to score the first century of the season, but still his 119 went in vain as Punjab Kings beat Rajasthan Royals by 4 runs in the last ball thriller. Punjab somehow managed to defend 221, but only after they survived a major scare from Rajasthan's new captain.
Just over the top. Punjab Kings were quick off the blocks. Just huge. To begin with, first KL Rahul and Chris Gayle had the Rajasthan bowlers on the ropes.
Oh, just drifting down the leg side.
Once the 67-run second wicket stand was broken by part-timer Rian Parag, Rajasthan's worst fears came true.
Ben Stokes holds on this time. He's a fine fielder, but he's held on this time.
Deepak Hooda tormented the Royals bowlers, hitting sixes at will.
There he goes again. And it's another massive one.
At the other end, Rahul wasn't holding himself back and got to his half-century before Hooda also got there of just 20 deliveries. Hooda made all the difference with a quick-fire 64 of 28, while Rahul's 91 ensured Punjab piled up a score of 221 for 6.
Good enough to send it to the boundary for 4 nowadays.
Royals couldn't have asked for a worst possible start, losing Ben Stokes for a duck in the very first over before Manan Vohra also joined him in the dugout.
He's got it! I wonder if he surprised himself, but it doesn't matter. It's a wonderful reflex catch.
Joss Butler and Sanju Samson tried to get things back on track, but Jai Richardson got the Englishman off a slower one.
Richardson, he gets his first tonight, and it's with a perfect Yorker.
Royal skipper Sanju played like a lone warrior and he stood like a rock between Punjab Kings and a victory.
There's a man in the boundary. Oh, it'll beat it for 4.
It seemed Samson had almost sealed the victory for Royals and in process struck the first century of the season.
In IPL history, his first as skipper of this franchise. And
13 were needed of the last over and Samson brought the equation down to 5 of the last 2 deliveries.
Changes the tune of the game again. It was that ball that had to go.
Samson refused a run of the penalty-made delivery, taking the entire responsibility on himself. But in the end, it turned out to be a heartbreak for the Royal skipper, his team and their fans.
Who celebrates? It'll be the Punjab Kings who celebrate.
Sports Bureau, India Today.
And a win on the board first up for the Punjab Kings.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.